Not so hot off the heels of Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare is back at it again. This time, the studio has taken a dramatic step away from the iconic single-player narrative-driven style and opted to follow a more looty-shooty formula. Their latest game is a sci-fi open-world action multiplayer RPG called Anthem. Let's head out, freelancers.
Anthem is BioWare's newest franchise in about 8 years since Star Wars: The Old Republic hit the scene in 2011, and it's been almost in development almost the entire time. In fact, the studio has been working on Anthem since after the release of Mass Effect 3 in 2012. I'm also now realizing that Mass Effect 3 came out in 2012, and I think I need to go lie down now. The game was first teased at the E3 of 2014, but we only got to see Anthem in action in 2017 when EA revealed a gameplay trailer at that year's E3. Before it was even called Anthem, the game was originally codenamed Dylan. Interestingly enough, a new Dragon Age project was codenamed Javelin, and I'm starting to notice a very groovy pattern here. Its long development cycle was fraught with corporate changes, including the closure of BioWare Montreal. Most of the BioWare devs were taken off their projects and relocated to Anthem, including some senior devs from Mass Effect Andromeda and Dragon Age. Anthem was originally under development by the original Mass Effect director Casey Hudson, who left the company in 2014. He's since then returned to lead BioWare as their studio head. The game was developed on Frostbite 3, EA's proprietary game engine. Frostbite's a little old, but there's no denying the quality of Battlefield 5's visuals on the same engine. Speaking of which, Anthem was originally supposed to launch at the end of 2018, but it was later moved to the beginning of 2019 to make space for EA's Battlefield 5 release. For those wondering, Anthem is a live service game, meaning you'll need to go online to play it at all times. While Anthem looks like a loot-'em-shoot-'em game, it wouldn't be a BioWare game without a deep world of lore. The game begins on a planet once ruled by massive godlike beings called the Shapers. These Shapers wielded relics imbued with a force known as the Anthem of Creation. As the name suggests, the Anthem of Creation was the key to, you guessed it, creation. Like their very own Sim City, the Anthem gave the Shapers the power to create mountains, change the weather, and create all life. But for some reason or another, the Shapers up and left the world, leaving all those powerful relics behind for us to toy with. With no one controlling the relics, the world spiraled into chaos, leading to the harsh and unpredictable landscape that we see today. Now, humans aren't the kind who sit on their asses and get eaten by an Ursk or shot down by a Shaper storm. It may have taken them a couple of 100 years, but a group of planet's mightiest heroes managed to eat some shawarma and fight back and cut a swath for humanity. They were known as the Legion of Dawn and were led by General Helena Tarsis. She helped humanity to build the first fortified city, and from there humanity spread and conquered with various enclaves across the world. Here's where you come in. You are a freelancer, a descendant of the Legion of Dawn and protector of humanity. Part explorer, part knight. You take on contracts, gather resources, handle extermination, and tackle the issues of dormant relics. Like most of BioWare's games, you'll be able to design your own character. You can pick their gender, voice, and a series of face options. It's not as detailed as we're used to in most RPG games, but it's probably for the best. Playing as a demon clown nightmare tends to break immersion in the story. And I have seen the kind of characters you have made in Mass Effect, so don't tell me we're wrong. While you're out walking around Fort Tarsis, you'll be in a first-person mode compared to the standard third-person mode, and in third person, you'll always be in your Javelin. This means you'll be unlikely to see your character's face very often anyways, which makes me figure we're probably going to see our character in cutscenes or things that we have no control over, and you'll probably be like, oh right, that's what I look like. But who needs a face when you have a Javelin, an Iron Man level exosuit that was forged from the very relics left by the Shapers? They're what separate a freelancer from just any ordinary plebeian. Each Javelin is equipped with propulsion, weapons, and the ability to free fly. You'll need all that to survive and explore the outside world. Flying for long periods of time will cause your javelin to overheat and start plummeting out of the sky, but you can keep it cool by flying through water, as well as setting them down and cooling naturally. There are 4 types of javelins that will be available at the launch of Anthem. They're the Ranger, the Colossus, the Storm, and the Interceptor, and more javelins are scheduled to be released later on. The Ranger is your all-around soldier class, complete with grenades and multi-target missile battery attacks. The Colossus is a powerful tank class that packs a shield, mortar, and whose ultimate ability is a big-ass cannon, which you'll see yours truly walking around with. The Interceptor is a Genji-looking speed-based class with a melee-based Assassin's Blade ultimate. Great for those that enjoy playing the Hunter or Ninja-type classes. Lastly, the Storm is a hovering mage-like javelin, which focuses more on team buffs and elemental attacks. Its ultimate is a crazy rain of elemental blasts. Unlike the other javelins, the Storm uses a powerful technology known as seals to boost its latent kinetic and elemental powers. Also, the Storm Javelin is the only one that can float about effortlessly above the ground. The idea of each javelin was to have them locked behind different story missions, but this resulted in them being unlocked fairly late in the game. Instead, you'll now be able to unlock each javelin after you reach a certain level threshold. Ben Irving, lead producer of Anthem, tweeted that you can unlock your javelins at level 2, 8, 16, and 24. You'll be starting the game with a beat-up old model of the Ranger suit for the tutorial mission. Now, nobody wants that, but by level 2, you'll be able to choose an upgraded javelin of your choice. It's kind of like that beater car that you got when you're 16. You don't really want to drive it, but it gets you where you need to go. Javelin's weapons and gear are customizable, and you'll be able to change your weapon loadout in between missions. Each javelin can hold 2 weapons per mission and can be modded with 3 different gear pieces that affect their ability in combat. There's a smorgasbord of weapons you'll be able to equip on your javelin, from pistols to shotguns. And the only restriction is that heavy weapons such as rocket launchers will be reserved specifically for the Colossus javelin. So, as a Colossus main, I'm looking forward to this. In terms of abilities, each javelin has 5 unique abilities per class. You can choose 2 to focus on and select between 2 supportive abilities in which you can select 1. Each javelin also has a melee attack unique to its type. While you can mod your javelins to make them more powerful, your freelancer can also be leveled to make them a better pilot. Perks chosen at each level will affect the stats of your javelins, such as being able to fly longer. And as of launch, the level cap for your freelancer is 30, just so you know. There are 4 main enemy factions to defeat in Anthem. We only know about 2 races so far. One is the Scars, a Zerg-type insect race not native to the planet. The Scars are mysteriously connected to the Shapers somehow and arrived via their technology. Their main aim seems to be to retrieve and potentially utilize Shaper technology. Your second enemy faction is known as the Dominion, a faction of fascist humans that believe in the subjugation of their species. They're led by someone known as the Monitor, who believes that he can control the power of Anthem to end humanity's suffering. And I just wonder, why is there always one of these dudes in every game? The Dominion are the ancient enemy of the Freelancers, and they most likely have a connection to the splintering of the Legion of Dawn because they do also have access to Javelin suit technology as well. The Dominion is credited with the creation of the Storm Javelin, but as you know, we managed to snake that design. I'll copy and paste. North of Fort Tarsus is the region of the Dominion. They've been taking over more and more territory there, expanding from their home base of Stralheim. Fort Tarsus is named after the aforementioned Helena Tarsus, leader of the Legion of Dawn. You'll be progressing most of your storyline in Fort Tarsus, the largest human city. Outside of Fort Tarsus, you'll be able to join other freelancers for missions to progress the story. But within Fort Tarsus, it's single player only. The reason for your writing this part of the journey solo is to make your own choices and thus influence of the narrative of the story your own. Rest assured that your decisions will not lock you out of any missions in the game. Instead, your dialogue decisions will most likely influence your relationships with the NPCs that live in Tarsus City. And no, you won't be able to romance any of them. We checked. R.I.P. weird alien sex scenes all of Mass Effect. Can I get some F's in the chat, please? Tarsus will be your home base where you craft, buy items, and manage your javelins, talk to NPCs, get quests, and further the storyline. You'll be able to craft weapons in Tarsus with blueprints obtained in the world. Good news as well though, BioWare has stated that crafting will scale to your level. So if you find a blueprint for a gun that you craft at level 3, its power will scale. And if you craft it again at, let's say, level 20, it'll be at level 20. Several factions operate in Fort Tarsus and around the planet, and there are 4 that we know of so far: the Sentinels, the Corvus, the Ciphers, and the Arcanists. The Sentinels are the law enforcers seen throughout the cities and settlements of Anthem. They're the corporate giants to your freelancers, and they view you guys as undisciplined and unreliable. The Corvus are the diplomats, spies, and agents in the world of Anthem. They're pretty shady, preferring to remove threats without direct confrontation. However, they're not squeamish about contracting out some of the messier tasks to you. Ciphers are humans gifted with psychic powers from telepathy to telekinesis. They're a byproduct of all the Anthem energy outpouring, and they'll be the Bosley to your Charlie's Angels during expeditions. The Arcanists are scientists, mystics, who dedicate themselves to researching the mysteries of the world of Anthem. Their ultimate goal is to gather, categorize, and preserve the complete knowledge of humanity. Anthem is a free-roaming open-world game. Apart from the missions you can choose to participate from the fort, you're free to explore the entire world map, finding events and items as you go. But don't expect to have to journey back to Fort Tarsus for every little Javelin upgrade. While out in the world, you'll have a mobile base of operations located in a large walking mech known as a Strider. You won't be alone on your Anthem journey. While you can team up with other freelancers on missions, you also have a support crew of your own. There's Hollock, the standard veteran freelancer who drives the Strider, Faye Naveen, a cipher with a gift for mental communication, and Owen Corley, the intern cipher who's just enthusiastic enough. As vast as Anthem's map is, it's also deep. Unlike the flat, sprawling, open-world games like Fallout or Red Dead, the world of Anthem has heights and depths to explore, from the mountains to the oceans. Not all the missions in Anthem will happen at set times. Instead, there will be dynamic scenarios that players can encounter while exploring the open world. Expect to see day and night cycles as well as random world events. There are 3 types of main world events: Shaper Storms, Strongholds, and Titans. Shaper Storms happen when there is a rip in the fabric of space-time continuum. When this happens in Anthem, a gaping black hole appears that you can jump right in to be transported somewhere through time and space to appear on the other side. Strongholds are raid-like areas that you'll need a group to complete. These strongholds will have powerful enemies and bosses that will yield legendary loot, and you know it's always got to be about the loot. Lastly, we've got Titans. These mega bosses scattered around the world will squash all low-level players like bugs. Once you and your team tier up though, you should be able to crack those huge Titans open like a big loot-stuffed piñata, full of elemental energy. Every single mission and objective in Anthem can be done cooperatively with up to 4 players. But if you're a lone wolf and want to play the full game solo, don't sweat it. The enemies will scale accordingly to how many players are present. Also, if you bring along your friends, don't expect an easy fight. They will be prepared for you. Anthem has a matchmaking system for those lone wolves looking to join a pack. And good thing too, with teammates you can pull off some crazy cool combo moves. How combos work is dependent on your gear. Each gear has different properties. Some weapons are primers, which coat an enemy in an element. In Anthem, there are 4 elements that javelins can wield: frost, fire, electricity, and acid. And no, there is no 5th one that is heart. Not every javelin will be able to use every element. For example, the Storm is unable to use acid, and the Colossus is unable to wield frost. And as a Colossus main, I don't understand this, but fine, I didn't want your ice damage anyways. The second type of weapon is a detonator, which is used to combo prime targets. Once an enemy is primed, your teammates can detonate them. So more javelins means more explosions and combos. Yay! Each javelin brings something different to the table when performing a combo. For the Ranger Javelin, executing a combo will do high single target damage, great for taking down bosses. For the Colossus, a combo will cause the target to explode, dealing area damage, great for minions and big groups. Comboing with the Storm will chain a primed enemy elemental status effect to the other nearby foes. And with the Interceptor, when you combo, it will surround the javelin with an aura of the element, letting you easily apply it to any nearby targets. When your Javelin loses all of its health, you'll go into a downed state. At this point, your teammate and other players can revive you, but if you're forever alone, then you'll end up back at a resupply or spawn point. There's no danger of friendly fire in this game, which is great news because I would just end up accidentally murdering everyone with my heavy weapons. You also won't be able to cause damage to yourself, for example, by setting yourself on fire, which rules out that embarrassing way of dying, which is going to be great. Your friends can join you at any point in your game, even during a mission, and there's no friend level cap, so feel free to carry my ass to victory. And again, may I remind you, as a Colossus main, it is going to be a very heavy one. If you're looking to build up those lifelong gaming friendships via matchmaking, Anthem features a clan type system called an alliance. Whether randos or friends, anyone you play with will become a part of your alliance. You earn alliance experience after every mission, and that experience is distributed to everyone in your, you guessed it, alliance. Every week, all the alliance experience you've earned and other players earned for you is turned into coin for you to spend. So get out there and help your fellow freelancers. If you don't have a mic or just don't like hearing people talk to you, communicating in Anthem may prove tricky. In-game text systems will not be available for Anthem on all platforms. Not a huge problem for some that are cool with chatting in-game, but it would be nice to have the alternative. Loot is divided and color-coded into different rarity levels. White for common, green for uncommon, blue for rare, and purple for epic. The two highest tiers are Masterwork and Legendary, which are colored orange and yellow respectively. Masterwork and Legendary loot are super similar, but aside from a slight stat advantage, Legendary loot has inscriptions. Inscriptions are additional benefits or bonuses to gear. They can give you buffs like longer flight and an expanded ammo capacity. Re-rolling perks in Anthem isn't as simple as pressing a button. You'll need to do some crafting, and if you manage to find a blueprint of the gear you want, you can craft it and then it comes with a random roll. If you have the materials and some good luck, you'll be able to score your perfect gear for your playstyle. Compared to Strongholds, free play is where you'll likely get the most crafting materials. The world is populated with all kinds of things to gather. This is pretty good news for you, but do note that you won't be able to trade weapons with other people, probably to discourage that pesky MMO black market from happening. You'll be able to obtain each loot rarity at whatever level you happen to be at, but how easy it is for you to find that loot is another story. The higher the difficulty of your session, the higher the chance you'll get of obtaining high tier loot. Before you leave the safety of Fort Tarsus, you'll be required to choose your difficulty setting. Until you reach the max pilot level and a certain overall gear score, you'll only be able to choose from 3 level settings, with Master being the hardest. The way that Anthem calculates gear score is similar to that of Destiny and Diablo. It essentially averages the total score of all gear you're wearing. A higher score means a higher rarity Javelin. Once you blow past the gear score cap, you'll be able to access 3 more difficulty level settings called the Grand Master level settings. This will give the highest chance of getting the best loot, but I'd recommend bringing a team. Loot drops are also affected by the activity that you're engaging in. As mentioned earlier, Strongholds have the highest drop rates of Masterwork and Legendary items, and you'll likely score loot rarer than you would in free play at the same difficulty. You'll be able to equip as many Legendary items as you like on your Javelin. It's a nice improvement over Destiny's one high tier item at a time rule. According to Ben Irving, there are about 100 exotic and legendary level gear, weapons, and components available at launch, and they'll all be attainable just by playing the game. EA has come under fire for the pay-to-win microtransactions model used in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but Anthem is rectifying this issue by not offering any DLC. All the extra content and events that will be happening will be free for all players that purchase the game. Cosmetics are the only thing in Anthem that require you to spend actual money. It won't be in loot box form either, you can just pick what you want. Javelins are cosmetically customizable to a huge extent, including its paint, wear, state, and vinyls. Taking a cue from Fortnite, animations are also a cosmetic option available for purchase. You can paint your Javelin all different colors. You can paint a rainbow on your Javelin and adjust the wear and tear to make your suit look rusted and damaged, or brand spanking new. It's like buying a brand new pair of stone-washed jeans. Your suit isn't actually damaged, it's just supposed to look like that. You know, for fashion. State changes the overall material of your suit, from metal, leather, fabric, and even taking a cue from Dragon Age, you'll be able to don a dragon scale Javelin. So sign me up. You can unlock vinyls, artwork that you can add to your suit, and each piece of the Javelin has different customizations: the helmet, arms, chest, and legs. With all these options available, I know that Anthem's endgame is going to be about that fashion. Unlike most games, an Anthem vanity, or the way your suit looks, is separate from the power aspect of the item. So if you pick up a certain powerful component, you can add it on without affecting the way you look. Gone are the days of choosing power over trying to look cool. Because components have no visual element whatsoever, it makes it easier for Bioware to pump out more build-altering components without having to worry about its look and feel. There were 2 pre-launch demos for Anthem. Those that pre-ordered the game or subscribed to either Origin Access or EA Access had access to the VIP demo that ran from the 25th of January to the 27th of January. The VIP demo faced some issues on launch, with many users unable to play because of the overloaded servers when it first became available, which is kind of a good thing because it means the game's gonna do well, but wasn't great for the VIPs. But by Saturday afternoon, Bioware had stabilized the servers and VIPs could enjoy the demo for the rest of the weekend. To make amends for the demo's troubles, Bioware unlocked all 4 Javelins for the rest of the demo. VIPs also get a free skin with the launch of the demo. Anthem's public demo ran the following weekend from the 1st of February to the 3rd. The demo started you off at level 10 to give you a chance to try out some of your Javelin's exosuit powers, but players couldn't level up past level 15. The demo's gotta leave something for you to try out in the real game. In fact, the team at Bioware made sure to strip the public demo, VIP demo, and even the alpha of any and all elements that would reveal any story details. But now the game's out, so we can dig through the narrative to our heart's content. We did get a taste of what's to come on the demo's last day, the Storm. The skies turned chaotic with Ash Titans and ancient Ash Titans roaming the world in free play. It was the first of many live events Anthem has planned for the future. Anthem launched with 2 versions, the Standard Edition for $60 and the Legion of Dawn Edition for $80. Aside from the VIP demo, players who pre-ordered got the Founder Player Banner and the Ranger Legion of Dawn Legendary Armor Pack and Weapon. As you would expect, the Legion of Dawn edition has that and more, and it includes the Anthem digital soundtrack as well as legendary gear, armor, and weapons for all the other Javelin classes. Alright, that's all for now. I'm Alphalance, and thanks for watching 107 Facts About Anthem. Did we miss anything? And what's going to be your first Javelin? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad, and if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to The Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.